Well, that was fun. Now let's get started. I'm going to show you how to set and program the new Hunter XC400i. What the buttons are. The two center buttons here, plus and minus, back and forward arrows, and a program button here. This is a rain sensor, so this timer has a rain sensor here. You can see if I move over here, it's an active rain sensor. It's green, it means it's currently not raining. Also not a freeze. So other things on the dial here, we have run, set date and time, start times, run times, those are for the different zones, water days, set date and time. This is usually where you come when you're first setting up a clock. You've got here plus and minus. Anything's blinking, you can change with plus or minus. That is the correct year, 2019. So I go forward. It shows the day of the month blinking. It shows a calendar page here. So again, I'm good. It's March. Go forward. If it wasn't the 25th, plus or minus would change that. Your day of the week should show up down here to show the correct day of the week. Today is Monday. And again, we come forward. AM or PM is going to blink up here. You can change whether it's AM or PM. If I touch it again, it goes to the hour. Again, plus or minus will change that when you spring forward or fall back. Hit it again, minutes. Hit it again, we're back to the year. Next are our station start times. This shows an alarm clock icon. That means it's going to start at 6 o'clock in the morning. If I wanted it to be 7 o'clock, just hit the plus sign 4 times. It's going to change 15 minutes at a time, as you can see, where I can go down and go back to 6 o'clock. You don't need to hit enter or anything after you're done. And that's it for start times. If you want to add a second start time, you just hit the forward arrow. Now it's going to give you an opportunity to put in a second time of day for it to water. You do not need to do that if you just want to water once a day. Every single station will water sequentially with one start time. So if I back up, if I set it for 6 a.m., it's going to run number 1, shut off, go to 2, shut off, 3, shut off, and so on. And then when it's done, it stops. If you set a second start time, it's going to start up all over again. And then there's the program button up here, so I can switch and put things in different programs. You can see I currently don't have anything in B, but I can tell what stations I want in B, set them a start time, tell them that station how long to run. Let's say the back lawn needs a little extra water, so I can go to zone 3 here. So I'd move over to zone 3, I'm in start time. So put in my first start time, so when the front's done, let's say all the other stations are done at 6:30, I can set it to start at 6:30. Come down to zone 3 down here, go forward to zone 3, tell it to run zone 3 again, and that's all I'd have to do. And then tell it which days you want it to do that. And you can set the B program up separately. So again, I'm going to come back to B. There's also a C and back to A. Here's our station run times. So for example, station 1 is set for 15 minutes. I'm going to move over to station 2. It's set for 5, and you just set each one accordingly, plus or minus in the middle. I will zoom in so you can see water days. I currently have Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday selected here on the timer. It always blinks on Monday when you show up, so you have a point of reference as to where you're at. If you wanted to move over a day or change Monday to on, it currently has a circle with a line through it, so you can see it does not water on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Sunday. If you want to change Monday to a water day, just hit plus up above, and it will make that a drop of water, and it will water on that day, and it automatically moves to Tuesday. If you should inadvertently go too far, so let's say, for example, I moved over here, and I go too far, and I get all the way over to Sunday, and I go too far, and I'm like, oh no, what happened? I'm on odd days. So if that's what you want, you leave it there. Here's for intervals, so you can set it to run every 1 day or every 3rd day. So that might be different than odd or even. Hit it again, you're moving through your days, and you can actually get over here to odd or even. So I can choose odd or even here. And then I'm back to where I started. So anyway, if you ever get into no man's land, just keep hitting the right button until it stops and comes back to where you started. Next is seasonal adjust. It's normally at 100%. That is correct. That's what you want. If for some reason you didn't want that, You can use the plus or minus to change the percentage of watering time to be more or less. So you could change it to 150%. So let's say, for example, you had station 1 at 10 minutes and you changed it to 150%. It'll now run 10 minutes plus 50% more. You can also go the other way in the fall. The other cool thing is it changes all of your stations at one time. Next is solar sync. This clock does not have a solar sync attached, so I won't be showing you that today. Next is manual. So if I wanted to manually run a specific station, I can go to manual. And if I don't want station number 1, for example, let's say I wanted station number 2 to run manually. This is just to run manually a specific station. So I wait a second, turn it on, sprinkler icon shows up, and now we have our front lawn sprinklers running. If I check them and I said, okay, I got a broken sprinkler, I can shut it off. If I didn't, it was going to run a full 5 minutes, which is the program watering time on that station, and it will shut off. So again, manual, I'm going to go to station 2, front lawn, turn it on. Let's say I fertilize, turn it on to manual. When it's done, it will shut off and go back to its normal start date and time. Nothing else will change. Now I'm going to show you a different way to manually run the clock. So I'm going to shut it off. When it stops blinking, it is off outside. Go back to run, hold down the right arrow for 5 seconds. On comes zone 1. And next we should see the sprinkler icon, and that's our front drip. If I didn't do anything else now, it will run 1, shut off, 2, shut off, 3, shut off, 4, shut off, 5, shut off, and I don't have a zone 6. And it'll go back to its normal date and time. If you wanted to walk through and check them, you could have someone stand here and say, okay, the front drip looks good. Go to the next station, just hit that button one more time. And again, it goes to the second station, which is our lawn. We could hit it again, go to our back lawn, and check each one of those. And when you're all done, just turn the clock to off, or you could continue going all the way till zone 6 where I have nothing programmed, and the clock would automatically go back to run. When you're done, off it goes. If it rains, turn it off. Or if you have a rain sensor like this, it will turn red and it'll put the word off and an umbrella on the screen. If there's a freeze, it will say ice. And again, if you don't have a rain sensor like this that's active, you can see got a green light, shows the rain sensor, it's active. You can hit the little dimple to bypass it if it was red. If you wanted the sprinklers on today, you do need to have that selected to active. If I popped off the bottom portion of the timer here, you can see when you have a rain sensor installed, you take the shunt out right here and you add these 2 blue and white wires. There's no directional. It doesn't matter if they're left or right. The battery's in here. Pull your battery tab out so you activate your battery. Here's your 24-volt AC. If you're installing a rain sensor, we can do a video on that later. You want to make sure that the 24-volt AC power here, this steps it down to 24 volts from 110. And then you want to hook it up but not plug it in. And so that's the key. So when you're all done playing with your timer, put it back to run, you're ready to go. All right, last thing we need to talk about on this timer is the reset. They used to be inside on the older model timers. It was right in there. Now they moved it outside. Too many people were getting shocked, I guess, probably because it was set down next to the electrical. So you can see this little hole on the side of the timer right here, that little guy right there. You can just put a paper clip or a ballpoint pen or something in there and push the little black button. So if you ever come out and you have no display, but your transformer down here is warm and you know you have power, you just go ahead and let's say there was a lightning strike, this will protect itself instead of you having to run around and buy a new fuse. So you just push that, it'll come back up, and everything should be saved providing your battery was any good. And it has non-volatile memory, and it will save all of your programming on the timer up to 24 hours. Hopefully you found this video helpful today. If you did, make sure you give us a thumbs up like and share it with your friends. And of course, if you'd like to subscribe to our channel, that's always fun and gives you an opportunity to see anytime we add new material like this for your help.